Hello, today we're going to work on order of operations. Now, when you hear order of operations, you might think of PEMDAS. PEMDAS is just something to help you remember what order should I be doing each operation. So today you're going to see problems where you might see multiplication, you might see division, addition, subtraction, a parentheses, all in one problem. And how do you know what to do first, second, third, and where do you start? This can be used to help you. So if you have a problem where you see multiplication and you see a subtraction sign, you're going to first do multiplication because that comes first in PEMDAS, and then do subtraction. Now, if you want, you can write this on the side of your paper to help you with today's activities. In this problem here is an exact example of where you have order of operations. Notice we have parentheses, we have multiplication, we have addition, there's a lot going on here. But now if I go back to PEMDAS, the first thing I might recognize is, well, let's see. I need to first think, do I see any parentheses? In fact, I do. So I'm going to underline the parentheses, and whatever's inside of those parentheses, that's what I'm going to do first. So 17 minus 4 is 13. So notice in blue I rewrote 13, and that's replacing 17 minus 4. But I still need to include the times 13 and plus 5. I can't forget about that rest of the problem. And notice when I'm writing these problems, I'm going down. I highly recommend you do the same thing. Now I have multiplication and addition. Well, which one do I do first? So if I think back to PEMDAS, multiplication does come before addition. So now 13 times 13 happens to be 169. But notice 169 is not my answer because I still did not do anything with the plus 5. So now I'm going to include plus 5. So now I have 169 plus 5, and that's my last step here. Now when I add that together, I'm left with 174. Now notice here I started with a very long problem, and I ended up continuing taking it one step at a time, which I highly recommend you do here. Do not start combining steps because it's very easy to make mistakes if you do that. I like to underline the one step I'm doing at a time and working my way down. Now notice what's so cool about this is you have such a large expression here, and it brings you down to one number as your final answer. So who would have thought that this entire expression equals 174? So notice if you follow those same steps, it'll make today's activities very, very simple. Here's another problem. We also have parentheses, multiplication, addition. A lot is happening here. So I remind myself, well, what do I do first? You always look to see, do you see parentheses? And I do. So notice I've been underlining this in different colors so you can see the one step I'm doing at a time. So now I have 21 minus 3, which is 18. But again, 18 is not my final answer. I still have a lot left to do in this problem. So I still need to include times 12 plus 3. Now I have multiplication and addition. Which one do I do first? Well, I know that multiplication comes before addition. So now I'm going to do 18 times 12, and it's okay if you have to write that on the side of the paper. Many of your problems, you might need to do this, especially if you ever have fractions, decimals, all larger numbers involved. And notice I'm just quickly doing this multiplication on the side so I can find this answer. And here is going to help me determine my final answer of 216. So now I have 216, and I still need to include plus 3. Now I have one more step left, and notice I just have one operation here. I have 216 plus 3, giving me a final answer of 219. And again, notice I had a very large expression here with a lot going on. But when I follow the rules of order of operations, I get one answer, one number of 219 as my answer, and that is your goal. In this problem here, we have parentheses, parentheses, division. There's a lot happening. Now, I always do parentheses first, just parentheses. Now, inside here, I have 25 plus 15, which just happens to be 40. Now, I'm going to also rewrite 40 divided by 7 minus 2. And again, I like taking it one step at a time. But here I still have parentheses and division. I still need to do my other set of parentheses as well. So I have 40 divided by, but instead of writing 7 minus 2, I'm going to replace that or substitute that with 5 because 7 minus 2 is 5. And now I just have division. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. Notice again, we had a nice big expression here, leaving me with one final answer of just 8 as the answer to this problem. And notice I rewrote this on the side of my paper. I rewrote each step one at a time, working my way down. In this problem here, again, I have parentheses, I have addition, I have division. There's a lot happening. But just like I did in the previous problems, parentheses comes first. So 11 minus 5 is 6. Now I'm still going to rewrite everything else, plus 20, and here I have divided by 5. Now here I have addition and I have division. Now notice division comes before addition. Division and multiplication are friends, addition and subtraction are friends. So division comes first. Now it's a little weird because division's not the first operation sign you see when you're reading from left to right. It's the second sign. So what I'm going to do is underline the number to the left and the right of that division sign, and that's what you're doing. You're only doing 20 divided by 5, which is 4. Now I still need to include plus 6. So notice all I did was 20 divided by 5. That was it. And now that's 4. So I replace that with the number 4, and my last step here is 6 plus 4 is 10. Notice again, I got one number as my answer. That is your goal here. As always, follow order of operations to help you when solving these problems. Now my last problem here, I have a lot going on. I have parentheses and I have brackets. Okay, you really won't be seeing that too much in 5th grade, but you will in 6th grade. So notice here, I'm always going to first start with my parentheses, but brackets do trump that. So I need to look what's inside of my brackets and see what's happening here. So now I have 5 times 3 plus 4, which is in parentheses. So this is going to actually come first. 4 plus 3 is 7. Now I have 7 times 5. And I'm just going to still leave those brackets here, minus 100. Now, well, 100 minus this expression. Now here, I still have to work on what's inside my brackets, those parentheses here. So 5 times 7 is 35. And now I have 100 minus 35. So notice here, I took this entire expression here and basically kind of did this first on its own and then brought back the 100 minus whatever this number is going to be, which happened to be 35. Now to finish off this problem, all I have left is 100 minus 35, which now we're left with 65 as my final answer. So even if you see brackets and parentheses, if you follow the steps of order of operations, you will always be able to find your final answer. As a reminder, subtraction and addition, they are friends. Multiplication and division, they are friends as well. So if you see a problem with multiplication and division, and that's the only thing you see, you work your way from left to right. If you see addition and subtraction, you work your way from left to right. If you see 2 addition signs, that's okay, then you work your way from left to right. However, if you see division and subtraction, like this example here, you need to identify the division problem first, then go to addition. So as always, you can refer back to this chart here to help you when solving these problems. Think about what order should you be doing each operation in when you are solving today's problems. And you can always refer back to this video at any time on my YouTube channel.